Hey guys, happy Friday. It's Joe and it's time for Pikket with Joe. I'm excited for today's show. We've only got 4 games to go over on the board, so it's going to be a quick show today, but happy Friday to everyone. Matt, thank you for joining me right away here. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late, you guys. It's just been one of those days. We've got so much going on, but it's going to be fun. It's more fun watching live. I'm glad that you are here live. Thank you for joining me. So yesterday we kind of split that long shot parlay, but if you took that 3-leg parlay that we went with, that one did hit. Now that 3-leg parlay was the Kings on the money line, or no, the Kings plus 1.5 on the puck line. We took that safe. They got the win. It was great to see that. The Winnipeg Jets on the money line and the Columbus Blue Jackets a plus 1.5. Now $10 would have paid out $37 in that one. Yeah, Rick, we've got a small card today, 4 games. I think there's still some value on the board. Couple totals I'm liking here. I really want to see the Devils win. Not sure if they'll get it done. So let's go over these ones. And of course, Edmonton is playing Seattle tonight in that Pacific battle. So let's start with the Nashville Predators taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Now, this is at 5 o'clock Eastern. So this one is right around the corner, you guys. We have Saros expected in goal for the Preds here, and Dostal expected for the Ducks. Now, Dostal has a 3.53 goals against average, and Saros coming in here with a 2.82. Now, the Predators are a little juicy here on the money line at minus 164. So if you like them, I'd take them in 60 minutes. I do think they are the stronger team than the Anaheim Ducks, but we did see Anaheim just pull off the win over Vegas. They won that 3-2 in a shootout. Who would have expected that? I would have thought, and I would have live bet that one if I was watching it, that Vegas would have won that in the shootout. But this Anaheim Ducks team really does play phenomenal at certain times. Now, they are not good defensively, though. This is a problem. They've got a 4.06 goals against average and 38.4 shots per game they are allowing. So they're really allowing their opponents to capitalize. Dostal is going to have a hard time versus the Predators. Now, the Predators aren't world beaters at getting these goals or getting these shots on goal, but I expect them to go over their average today. I am looking at shots on goal tonight for Philip Forsberg. I think he has a great opportunity to go over 4. If we take him over 4 in this matchup tonight, it's coming in at plus 148. And we've seen him in some games with stronger defenses go over his expected shots on goal tonight. So I do like that. I am going to look at this total in this one, just because I think the Preds are too juicy. I think they're going to get the win. I would take them in 60, but we know the Ducks like to dig deep. I'm going to take the over 6 in this one. I think we got a higher scoring game here. We see the Predators playing on 2 days rest. They're 9-4 in their last 13 to that over. The Ducks playing on that 1 day's rest in their last 5 have hit the over in 4 of those. And between these two, last 27 meetings in Anaheim, we've seen 16 go over, 5 of those push, and 6 of those stay under the number. So at 6 here, I'm pretty confident in this one going over. Just to note on the Predators, they have won those last 4 meetings. My only concern is when they come into games on a couple's days rest, on that 2 days rest, they have struggled to win those games. While they do trend to that over on those rests, they have been letting those goals come in is the problem. So they're 1-4 in their last 5 playing on 2 days rest. Home ice advantage is huge between these two. I think the over, Benji, if you're going to hit one or the other, I would roll with the over in this one. Yeah, the books do think they will score over 3.5 at minus 140. So I do think the Ducks have the ability to get a couple of these goals. And we've seen them. We've seen them dig deep against harder defenses and be able to get it. The Predators, we know their defense just is lacking as well. They're allowing that 3.03 goals per game and 33.7 shots on goal. So the Ducks are limited with what they're able to do, getting those shots on goal, staying under that 30 at 29.1. But I do see them coming into this one and playing strong enough that they get a couple goals here, pushing us over that number of 6. Now, the only thing I'm worried about with the Preds, they do have Vegas on deck. They have a much harder opponent on deck than the Ducks. So it could be a little bit of look ahead. I think you can also look at that first period. I would play the total in this one over anything. Look at the over 6 and look at that first period over 1.5, because we know both of these goalies can let in an early goal. And if the Predators come out on fire, you can see 2 goals happening in that first period. Nice, quick, and simple. I don't think this is a low scoring game. Let's look at the next game on the board, you guys. This one, much trickier game here with the New Jersey Devils taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, the Devils are coming in here at plus 100. The Penguins a minus 120. Vanek expected in goal for the Devils. He's got a 2.39 goals against average. And Tristan Jarry here for the Penguins. He's got a 2.77. We got the Red Wings last night, plus 1.5 on that puck line. They ended up winning this one outright. We saw the Pittsburgh Penguins go up, and I believe they're up 4-0 at one point. The Red Wings dug back in that game. The Red Wings won this game in overtime last night. I don't have much faith in the Pittsburgh Penguins here. I think what we have is we have a super strong road team with the New Jersey Devils taking on a super strong home team with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But the Devils, they've had struggles. We know they've had struggles. They lost the last two. They lost those back-to-back games with the Bruins, one before the break, one after the break. They also lost, what was it? Oh, yeah, it was just the two to the Bruins. And then who they have on deck. And this is my biggest concern for the Devils here, because we look at this and the Devils are sitting second in the Metro right now, with the Penguins sitting fourth in the Metro. The Devils have the Canes on deck. Now, this is on Sunday, New Year's Day. They will be playing the Hurricanes, who are first in the Metro. So I am a little concerned this might be the Devils. While they do want to beat the Penguins, because they're in the same division, it could be a bit of, well, we've got the Canes on deck, which is a much more important game. I guess all of these games are important within your own division, but my only worry there with the Devils. So when I look at this one, you guys, the only way I can take this is to take a total. I'm going to take the under 6. I do lean on the Devils, but I worry a little bit. So give me the under 6 in this meeting. 3 of the last 6 meetings have gone under the total, with 2 of those being a push, 1 of those going over. Both of these defenses have been strong, especially the New Jersey Devils. We look at the Devils' defense. They are only allowing 26.6 shots on goal, which is 3rd overall in the league. Vanek in goal as well. And this team defensively is 2nd for shots for goals, only allowing 2.57. So I think the Devils defense controls this one. We have the Penguins. If the Penguins get in the box, they have one of the best penalty kills. It's the 3rd best in the league. So I'm not worried about the Devils capitalizing on that, on the Penguins making mistakes there. They're allowing 3 and 34.1 shots on goal. So Devils definitely have the better defense. I need this defense to completely control this game, for this game to stay under the total. You know, we've ridden games with the Devils under before, and it's been over in that first period, basically. So a little bit of faith in here in the defense of the New Jersey Devils and the Penguins defense as well. Penguins money line over 3.5 is plus 105. Great way to go with that. Courtney, happy New Year to you as well. I appreciate you for being here. It's a frickin' weekend. Best of luck to you too. Picks from Dave. If you guys haven't given Picks from Dave a follow, go check him out. You definitely will not be disappointed. It sounds like an infomercial for Dave. He definitely won't be disappointed. Anyway, the under. The Penguins have gone, they've trended to that under, going 5-2-3 in their last 10 games. They're also in a 3-4 situation. Trend solidly to that under, with their defense really stepping up. Offensively, just a little tired. They're going 13-5 in the last 18 in that 3rd day of a 3-4. And the Devils playing on 1 day's rest. Trended that under nicely, going 8-2-1 on that 1 day's rest versus the Eastern Conference as well. 5-1 in their last 6 versus the Eastern Conference. So give me the under 6 in that one. Let's move on to the next game. We have the Florida Panthers taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina coming in here minus 172, plus 142 for the Florida Panthers, total 6.5. Now, the Florida Panthers are on a back-to-back. Yes, back-to-back. They played Montreal last night, got a dominating win. It was a 7-2 win for the Florida Panthers, but now they're facing the Carolina Hurricanes. We know how strong this Canes team is. Now, they've won their last 9 games. They're sitting first in the Metro. My only concern is if they are looking ahead to the Devils here, but I think this is a Canes game. I think Canes in 60, because at minus 172, too juiced on that money line. For parlay reasons, I'd throw them just straight up on the money line into a parlay, but I think the Canes come out and dominate in this one. They've won their last 9 games. Like I said, they got the big win, the shutout win over the Blackhawks in their last game. Now the Devils on deck on the road on Sunday is my only concern. Like I said, the last time these teams did play, Florida did get a 3-0 win, which I think will help the Canes come out here. Not underestimate this team. Look for a little bit of revenge, even though they have the Devils on deck. So in this one, we've also seen Florida fail to cover that puck line following a win in their last 4. I want to sprinkle a little bit on the Canes -1.5 with that beautiful plus money. Not sure if I'm going to get there. I do think I can take the Canes in the first period, though. They won their last 4 first periods as well. I think the strongest bet in this one is to look at the under 6.5. I actually was shocked this one came in at 6.5. I think that what we see now, the Carolina Hurricanes defensively, that is what's going to control this game. They're only allowing 2.57 goals per game on average, which is 3rd overall in the league. And they're the best team in the league and not allowing their opponents to get shots on goal, holding opponents to 26.4 shots on goal per game. Now, Ranta is expected in goal here. He's got a 2.73 goals against average. And Spencer Knight coming out for the Florida Panthers. We've seen Spencer Knight absolutely stand on his head in games this season. We saw him against Edmonton. That was the most impressive I've seen him. He has a 2.93 goals against average. I really do think, although the Florida Panthers are the best team at getting these shots on goal, that the Carolina Hurricanes are going to completely shut them down in this game tonight. I think it's a defensive battle all the way. So I'm going to take that under 6.5. Now, when we look at the Canes in their last 5 games playing on 2 days rest, they've hit 4 of those games under that total. They're also 8-2 in their last 10 versus the Eastern Conference and 7-2 to that under in their last 9 home games. The Panthers 3-0-2 in their last 5 versus the Metropolitan to that under. So give me a lower scoring one in this one. Canes on the money line and under 7.5. Definitely a nice way to get that at plus 115. I like where you're going with that. I cannot see this one coming close to that number of 7. I really do think we have a 3-1 style game in this Carolina Hurricanes game. I could see Carolina completely dominating this one. The Florida Panthers getting that one. But I really do think this is one where they come down a little bit to earth last night versus Montreal. It was versus Montreal. It wasn't against a defense like we saw. Yes, they scored a ton of goals in that last game. I don't see it happening in this one. 7 goals in a game. Look for this to be a defensive game. Now, the Edmonton Oilers and the Seattle Kraken. We got Edmonton playing now. Edmonton is coming in here at -106, -113 for the Seattle Kraken. Total 6.5. Skinner expected in goal again for the Edmonton Oilers. We saw him play in Calgary, and Skinner did absolutely fantastic. Grubauer confirmed in goal here for the Seattle Kraken. He's got a 3.28 goals against average. A lot of people saying the Seattle Kraken team finally coming down to earth. I really do like what I've seen out of the Seattle Kraken. I think the improvements they made in the offseason really have helped this team. Offensively, this team is doing phenomenal, averaging 3.48 goals per game. Edmonton's only averaging a little bit higher at 3.56. Now, the difference here is their ability to get the shots on goal. Edmonton averaging that 32, and they have the best overall power play in the league, where Seattle's only averaging below 30 at 29.7. Defensively, very similar for goals allowed, with Edmonton allowing that 3.39 and the Seattle Kraken allowing that 3.21. Difference here is how the defense is able to limit the opponent's ability to get these shots on goal. Edmonton allowing 32.9 and the Seattle Kraken only allowing that 28.1, which is 4th best overall in the league. Now, when we look at the last 2 games between these two, who they have played before this, it's really interesting. We have seen Edmonton, they won that last game 2-1 over Calgary, and they lost to the Canucks 5-2. Now they're back home to face the Jets tomorrow. When we look at the Seattle Kraken, they've lost their last 2. They had that tight game with the Flames, the 3-2 loss there for the Seattle Kraken, and they had a shootout loss to the Vancouver Canucks. So they both played the Canucks, they both played the Flames. Edmonton has won and lost, and Seattle has lost both of those. So Really interesting. Seattle sitting 4th in the Pacific, Edmonton right behind at 5th. They've lost Edmonton their last 4 as a favorite. Right now, they're basically a pick, a -106, -113. The Kraken was so strong this season versus the Pacific, going 6-2 in their last 8 versus the Pacific. They're also 7-2 in their last 9 versus the Western Conference. Oilers having this trouble stringing together wins. They make us think like they are this team that can get the win, and then they lose the next one. They're only 1-5 in their last 6 following a win. Shots on goal. When I look at the shots on goal tonight, the player props for the Edmonton Oilers. Look at those numbers, you guys. They are nice positive money for over 3.5 for a lot of these players. We don't normally see that. Connor McDavid, over 3.5 shots on goal. I'm seeing plus money on this. Forsberg, we have to buy up to 4 to get plus money. Connor McDavid should do better than Forsberg in his game. Why are the books giving us plus money? I don't like it. If you're going to hit any shots on goal props tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, trust me, I think you got to hit them under. Something isn't sitting right with those numbers. Remember, we sat here a couple times and said, hey, this is too good to be true, but how can we not take this player? I'm learning the more we see lines like this, where why are they giving us such good odds for Connor McDavid, for Leon Draisaitl? It doesn't make sense. So if you want player shots on goal, I'm not going to play any tonight. I would hit that under. It makes logical sense with the Kraken's ability to hold opponents to only 28.1 shots on goal as well. You got that, Braden. Point 1. I am so glad to hear that. It's definitely great to see. He is, and it's coming to the end of the year. I really do think Connor McDavid should go over his shots on goal. I completely agree with you. I just don't like what the books are doing. So let's look what I'm getting here for Connor McDavid, a shots on goal tonight. So yeah, over 3.5. I'm getting the same as you, Matt. I'm getting that plus 100. Earlier in the day, I was getting plus 110. Just doesn't seem right, because we look at some of the other games and we look at some of these other players. When I looked at Forsberg in his game for the Predators, now the Ducks defense is terrible. They're allowing all these shots to come in. And this is something I really consider when I look at these props. So when we look at Forsberg here for his shots on goal, over 2.5 is minus 188. So that's what the books are automatically giving you. So then when you adjust that to record 3 shots. Now, Connor McDavid, yes, I know it's a 3.5. But Philip Forsberg at over 3 is coming in at minus 188. I don't get this. And this is what I mean about Connor McDavid. I really do think his line should be juicier. Over 4 here for Philip Forsberg is where I'm going to sit at that one against the Ducks, and that's plus 148. So it's kind of tricky, you guys. Do what you guys want with that. I love it, Last Man. You've been rolling with the Canes tonight. Let me know what you're doing with the Canes tonight in this one. It is going to be a tight game for sure. I am leaning on the Canes to get the win in this one in 60. I want to sprinkle on that puck line because I do think that they can cover the puck line against the Florida Panthers. The Ducks do allow the most shots on goal. That is right. But when we look at Connor McDavid, we know he's getting these shots. The Seattle Kraken are limiting them, but it's Connor McDavid. He's able to do it. Yeah, he is. He absolutely is. We see it go one way or another. But you guys, that is all the games. So in this last game, I will probably look at that over. I'm not loving the over in that total. I'm not loving a side. I lean on the Seattle Kraken to get things done. I just don't trust the Edmonton Oilers. But the Oilers and the Kraken, this is a game that I am not going to bet. I'm not going to bet those shots on goal because I really do think the Kraken are going to be able to limit them here. It's going to be a really interesting night on the ice. We got bowl games. We got so much going on, NBA, college basketball. It's a fun night. So let's recap these games, build a parlay. We hit that 3-legger parlay yesterday. Let's try to do another one like that today, you guys. Drop below what you're liking, what you would parlay out of these games, which games you think are just a complete stay away, like I think the Oilers and the Kraken are. Geez, I wish I could take the Oilers tonight, but I can't trust them, you guys. I love that. Damn Kachuk, the Panthers. I don't have a show on the NBA, but it's something I've been thinking about bringing up for you guys because I do bet the NBA. So it is something that I've thought of. It's just if you guys want it or not. That's where I kind of go with it. So let's do the recap. We're at the 21:30 mark. We'll do the recap and we'll build a parlay. So the Nashville Predators and the Anaheim Ducks. I'm going to take that first period over 1.5. I think this is a high scoring one. Going to take the over 6 in this game. And I'm going to take Forsberg shots on goal over 4 in this one at plus 148. Now for the parlay, I'm going to throw the Preds and the Ducks over 6. Sorry, I just got to write it down. The Devils and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I want to jump on the Devils here, guys. I am a little concerned with the Canes on deck. That's my only concern. This team has had a couple of struggles as of late. They're going to be digging deep to try to win this game after 2 losses to the Bruins. And what we've seen out of the Penguins with allowing the Red Wings to come back last night, I'm a little concerned in them in this game. So I'm going to stay off the side. If you put a gun to my head, I'd be taking the Devils here at plus 100 because if this was back when the Devils were winning, which I know they're in this kind of slump right now, the Devils would be such a strong favorite here. They're sitting second in the mat. I'm going to take the under in this one. We know how easy these Devil games can go over and the Penguins games, but I do think we've got a defensive, solid goaltending game on our hands. So give me the under for the parlay between the Devils and the Penguins. Now the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes. I think the Canes take it in 60 here. I do think this is win number 10 for them. This team is just so dominant out there on the ice. I do want to take the minus 1.5 on that puck line. If you're going to do it, single bet this one. You're getting plus 140 for that. You guys know I'm going to sprinkle on them minus that 1.5 at plus 140. My only concern is we look at them here on the puck line at home. They're 5-10. They haven't been blowing anyone out. It's because they play strong defensive games. So for this one to stay under the total, like I expect Carolina to control this. While I do think it's a 3-1 win, it's going to be really tight to that 3-1 win here for the Carolina Hurricanes. So if you're going to do a sprinkle on the puck line, do it lightly tonight. I think the 60 minutes is a better way to go in this one. I'm going to put Canes on the money line in the parlay. And I like the under 6.5. I think this is a low scoring one. The last game between the Seattle Kraken and the Edmonton Oilers. You guys, I do lean on the over 6.5. This one, if I had to take a side, I think Seattle does get it done here at home. Seattle 9-7-2 at home. We know Edmonton has been okay on the road, going 10-6-1. But my problem with Edmonton is their ability to string together these wins. They're off that win over Calgary, which was a hard-fought battle. Skinner did absolutely incredible in that one. If you looked at the shots on goal that Skinner was able to stop, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was phenomenal. And credit to Jacob Markstrom for getting the monkey off his back. He did play a phenomenal game versus the Edmonton Oilers, and he needed that because last year in the playoffs, we all know what happened to Markstrom versus the Edmonton Oilers. But I think this is one where I would lean on Seattle here. I just don't trust Edmonton. I'd lean on the over 6.5. But again, I don't trust this game, so I'm not going to touch it. If you want to parlay, if the parlays, then I'll do the Predators and the Ducks over 6, the Devils and the Penguins under 6, and the Canes on the money line. For a 2-teamer, I'll do the Canes on the money line, and then I would do the over in the first period between the Ducks and the Preds. I think we've got a fast first period in that one, and it goes over the total. So those are the 2 I'd parlay there. As for tonight's player props, I'd look at Forsberg, his shots on goal over. A couple of other players you could look at for the Preds in this one, just with how weak the ability of the Ducks is to stop those shots on goal. I would probably look at, we always know Jack Hughes is so solid with the New Jersey Devils, but I think the Penguins, they're going to have a solid game in this one. I'm going to leave it up to the goaltending, though, so I don't blame you guys for taking some of those shots on goal against Tristan Jarry for the Devils. So I would look at Jack Hughes mainly in that one because we know he's been getting them. So it's going to be a great night. I want to say hi to each and every one of you. Germany to beat Austria by 6 or more goals. That is great. There's been some blowouts, absolute blowouts in the World Juniors. I have had it on. I've been super busy, though. Haven't been playing betting at all. Florida's team total over 2.5 and the Devils team total over 2.5. Little concern with that Devils one. I'm going to be honest with you. And Florida's actually, because I really am concerned that the defenses against both of these teams in these games, we're going to see lower scoring games. I'm taking the under in both of those games. So for me to get behind the team totals of those dogs in those games, I just can't get there, but I wish you all the best with that if you're betting it. So we know I'm not right all the time. So I try my best to give you guys the best advice I can. And I hope from my advice, you guys can come up with your own conclusions. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Pocket with Joe. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Now, this is why you want to hit the subscribe button, because we have how many games on the board tomorrow? Tomorrow we have, it's December 31st. Tomorrow, you guys, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We have 12 games on the board tomorrow. I will be back here. Make sure you join me. I don't know what time, so hit that subscribe so you know when I'm going to go live. I promise you I will be going live tomorrow. Sunday, I will be going live too, but I am going out New Year's Eve, so I'll be prepared. You guys have a safe New Year's. If you're not joining me tomorrow, be safe. Please, please, please don't drink and drive. There's always another way home. You guys are absolutely the best. Appreciate each and every one of you. Happy New Year's to each and every one of you. You guys have a good one. Keep smiling. Let's make